What's up? Welcome back to another Armchair Anime Review. Your least delusional anime fan Shogun here, and today we're gonna be talking about a show that has been playing hide and seek during the fall 2022 season, because it somehow managed to slip past everyone's radar and not end up on a single watch list. If you told me 6 years ago that this show would be in the state that it is in right now, I would have reported you to the cops and had you sent to an asylum, because let's be honest here, this is a result that no one expected. This show somehow had a fall from grace worse than Kanye's, for God's sake. The once Anime of the Year contender now turned Toru Hagakure of the Year. Yup, you've guessed it, I'm talking about Mob Psycho Season 3. Guys, I know that this show is released in one of the most stacked seasons ever, but this amount of traction? Really? This is Mob Psycho Season 3, for God's sake. Not some unknown original anime released by some studio first timing this shit, made by some nobody. Mob Psycho Season 3. Mob fucking Psycho Season 3. How? I feel like a little match girl trying to sell this show. Mob Psycho Season 3? Mob Psycho Season 3, anyone? Oh, kind sir, would you please take a copy of Mob Psycho Season 3? It would mean the world to me. Grandma? Is that you? Somehow, someway, people managed to have this show completely off their watch list. No one has been talking about it, and I kinda wanna say that I understand why people haven't been talking about the show. Because like hell I would fucking understand how the fuck has such an amazing show flown under the radar. And cause of this shit, I came into this show with shallow expectations. If expectations could be measured, what I had for Bocchi the Rock would be over 9,000, and what I had for Mob Psycho Season 3 would be the number of girls you've slept with. But, surprise surprise, whatever expectations I had were completely blown out of the water. Cause Season 3 was just as good as, if not better than Season 2. Now, I want to keep this relatively spoiler free, but I really can't talk about what's good about the show without going into the spoilers. So if you are really allergic to spoilers, just skip to this part over here. I'll put the timestamp on. Done? Are they gone? Are those pussies gone? Yep. But to put it simply, Season 3 focuses more on the characters and the storyline rather than the fighting scenes. Reagan's long-awaited confession finally happened, Mob finally learning how to live as a normal person and setting aside his abnormalities. Now, this was something touched upon during Season 2, but at the time, it felt like it wasn't really given a conclusion. It felt like they were throwing us a cliffhanger, but at the same time, is it really though? And also, Ritsu learning how to support his brother through all his struggles. Those were some of the more major and more meaningful character development I felt, but all these characters aside, we are truly forgetting the star of Season 3. Could you imagine if Pikachu got half a season dedicated to it? Cause that's what happened to Ekubo. You thought he was just there for comedic reasons? Well, think again, cause Season 3's Ekubo got character development equivalent to the number of good reviews that 7 Deadly Sins has. It's not a lot, but there's definitely enough for you to notice. Him solving his identity crisis being a major plot point was something I never expected. And him repaying off Mob's help in the end as well, it was pretty cool to see. But amidst all these serious topics, Ekubo still stood tall and remained the beacon of light for all of us comedy enjoyers. my man tried to go Super Saiyan but turned into one of those roaches from Terraformers instead. Got my ass. Still, I have to applaud the author for developing the side characters, cause without it, they would just be another one of those forgettable characters that no one gives a shit about. And the best thing is, they've managed to do this while continuing to push the story and not having to rely on flashbacks, unlike a certain Demon Slayer anime. Anyways, that's enough compliments for the show, cause any more praise might make my mad, and I kinda want you guys to watch it for yourself, so yeah, I'll stop here. At this point, you might be wondering, Shogun, if the show's really as good as you said, why isn't it getting any traction? Good question, and that got me thinking as well. If Mob Psycho Season 3 is really as good as I think it is, why hasn't it gained much traction? Cause it's not a monster of the week type of show where you get bored after like a couple seasons. It's also maintained its production quality after the first 2 seasons. Something just doesn't feel right here. So I went full Sherlock Holmes, and after a quick 15-minute research on Facebook, I finally pieced together the puzzle to this mystery and came up with a conclusion. The reason why Mob Psycho Season 3 has gone completely MIA. It's just due to the fact that the audience grew up. So if you take a look at it, Mob Psycho Season 1 was released way back in 2016. That's like 6 years ago. I was still suckling on my mom's titties 6 years ago. And as you grow up, your taste just changes. You stop craving those action-packed shows with flashy animations, with characters who scream all the time as if someone would murder their parents, and you turn towards the shows which are more sophisticated, more relatable, with a much slower pace. You would much prefer the slice of lives, the dramas, the romances, as opposed to the shonens or the isekai. Now, this is all speaking from personal experience, so don't ever come at me with your pitchforks. But if Season 3 was really what I described it to be, either something's really off with my conclusion, or it's just the fact that I don't understand weebs at all. And another thing with the Mob Psycho franchise is that, now I'm not sure if it's done on purpose or just purely coincidental, but they always get aired at similar times as other amazing shows. This is not me saying that they aren't up to par with those shows, but realistically, would you really choose Mob Psycho in those seasons over some other shows? Let's take a look at it. Mob Psycho 1, by far the most recognition this show has gotten since its release. And also, the only season where I would actually choose this show over its competition. Animes released around that time include Re:Zero, Psyche K, Shokugeki no Soma Season 2, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Season 4. Boy, those are some pretty fucking good shows if I do say so myself. And who could forget the unforgettable anime of the year, or at this point maybe anime of the decade, Berserk 2016. Now that's a show that gave Mob Psycho Season 1 a run for its money. As you can see, pretty fucking good competition. So moving on from Season 1, Mob Psycho Season 2 was without a doubt better than Season 1. They managed to pull off a reverse One Punch Man and maintain its top-notch production quality. When you combine that with a better storyline, you've pretty much set yourself up for success. Anime of the year? Might as well just take it at that point. Cause who's gonna compete with you? Promised Neverland? Kaguya-sama? Dororo? Shield Hero? Those are good, don't get me wrong. But Mob Psycho Season 2 had one advantage over those shows, and it's the fact that they got to ride the high of their extremely successful first season. Not to mention that it had reinforcements in the form of shows like Domestic Girlfriend, Data Life Season 3, and Kemono Friends. Surely, they would get Anime of the Year this time, right? Surely, fans would choose to watch this show over any other shows, right? Whoa, what's that?
You can't defeat me.
No, I know. But he can.
No.
Season 3 in terms of popularity just fell off a cliff, even though, call it recency bias if you will, but in my opinion, Season 3 was the best season out of all of them. But once again, they just had to do this, they had to shoot themselves in the foot. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me thrice, shame on both of us, I guess. You know where this is going. Weirdly enough, I don't blame them at all, cause based on what I've seen, it's pretty incredible. But what can I say, they picked the wrong time again, and also the wrong meta, cause right now, relatability is the best way to go. And if you could relate with an Asper, you're just hella weird. Whilst researching for this video, I've also found out that the years that had a new Mob Psycho season, i.e. 2016, 2019 and 2022, those are the years that are widely considered as some of the best years of anime. I see a common denominator here, but who am I kidding? I'm starting to believe that there is a conspiracy by all anime studios to save their best animes and only start releasing them once a new Mob Psycho season is announced. The more I think about it, the more I'm buying into it, cause when you think about it, it actually makes a lot of sense. Just look at the list. The shows that they have in one season is what some years could only dream of having. If you just took out some of these shows and placed them in any other years, those are some Anime of the Year contenders right there, no cap. Holy shit, this could actually be the next flood of theory, but nah, I'm just joking. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Please, I'm begging you, go watch Mob Psycho Season 3. I know relatability is meta, but fuck that, y'all meta slaves. Would it really harm to watch something different for once? It pains me that such a good show is just flying under everyone's radar right now. And if I've managed to convince you to watch the show, my job here is done. That's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and just go watch Mob Psycho Season 3. Your least delusional anime fan Shogun signing out, and I'll see you.